Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula for SimonsSTM.com. Welcome back for another Yippee for Yana episode. In this video, I'm creating a see-through double fold card. This is a name I came up with myself, and I would love to hear your suggestions in the comments. What would you call this type of card? Please comment below and let us know, because clearly this card this construction type needs a better name. By the way, all supplies I'm using for this project are listed and linked in the video description below. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to create the card base, work on the construction of the card, and then I will show you my way of decorating this card, although you can use any supplies you have in your stash to dress up this project. So here I have two card bases, A2 4¼ by 5½ inches. One is cut from white cardstock, and both are top folding, and another one is cut from seafoam cardstock. I also have a sheet of acetate that is cut to 4¼ by 5½ inches. So all of these are the same. I just have two card bases and one acetate sheet. My card bases are different in color because that's the color combination that I have in mind for this project. Your card bases can be the same color, or you can use whatever color you like. First, we're going to do some die cutting, and we're going to cut the front of the card using a circle die. Here I have the basic shapes circles from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm using the largest circle in that die set, and I'm going to place this over my card base like so, tape it in place using best of a craft tape, and cut the front flap into two pieces. One piece is going to be attached to my card base, and it's going to have this beautiful curve, and then the second piece is going to be the leftover. I'm using my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine. Whichever machine you use, make sure you follow the sandwich for your machine. Now, all of my plates are well worn and well used, so I'm using a sheet of printer paper. I'm adding a sheet of printer paper between my card base and my bottom cutting plate. And I'm also using a brand new clear cutting plate to put on top. If you don't have a brand new clear cutting plate, add a piece of printer paper on top. And what this does, when you add printer paper, thin paper, in between your paper and the cutting plate, the printer paper absorbs all of the cut marks that otherwise the cutting plate will leave on your paper. You will still get some cut marks from your cutting plate on the back of your cardstock, but if you use printer paper, you will get far less cut marks. So this is just a nice little tip to help keep the back of your paper look as best as possible. Now we will end up covering the back of this paper, so it doesn't really matter, but covering the back of this paper is an optional step. And if you do decide to skip it, it would be nice to have paper that looks nice from the back. Okay, the second piece now, I have it on my cutting plate. I'm going to use that same circle die, again, tape it in place and create another partial circle cut from this paper. We're creating a bottom part of our panel. So the front panel of our card is going to be made up of three sections, two cardstock sections, and then one acetate section in the middle. And this is going to give us a beautiful see-through card front through which we will be able to see to the inside of our card. Now I'm using a circle die, but obviously you can use any other shape you have in your stash. It doesn't have to be a circle, it can be a rectangle. Also, if you don't have a die, you can use your paper trimmer. You can make cuts with a paper trimmer, you can cut a rectangle, just a strip, whatever works for you. I wanted to do a circle to have like this beautiful curve, so that's why I'm using a circle. Now, my die cutting machine still left some marks on my paper, and just now I was using a pencil eraser to erase those cut marks. Okay, let's go back to our pieces. So here I have my white card base. This is what it looks like now. I only have a partial flap, And I'm going to use that flap to adhere the clear acetate sheet from the inside. So I'm using double-sided tape. My card base is open. I'm adding double-sided tape. You can use whatever adhesive you have, perhaps glue, or if you want to make sure the adhesive is hidden and not visible, you could use an adhesive sheet and hide that entire, if you use an entire adhesive sheet on your paper prior to die cutting it, the adhesive is not going to be visible. I did not think of that. So here I'm using double-sided tape, and later I will cover this with another piece of cardstock so that tape is not going to be visible. Basically, my acetate is going to be sandwiched between two pieces of cardstock. So here I am adding the acetate, and now my front flap consists of one cardstock panel, one cardstock section, and acetate section. Really cool. Now the acetate sticks out a little bit, so I need to trim it using my paper trimmer to make sure my card base is nice and even. And with that done, I can now once again use double-sided tape and adhere this bottom cardstock section to my card base. Again, you can use glue or whatever other adhesive you prefer. I'm using double-sided tape. And here, my card base is now restored. I have a card base that is made from cardstock with an acetate insert that makes a part of this card base see-through and allows the recipient of the card to see to the inside. Now, I'm also going to add another card base to the inside of my card, and this is where this light blue card base comes into play. I am going to trim it just a teeny tiny bit so none of that light blue cardstock is sticking from the bottom of my card. And now I will be able to open both and have room for my personalized message. See? Just like that. Very easy. So let me know, how would you name this type of card? Double fold? Triple panel? I don't know. So let me know your best suggestions, best name ideas in the comments below. I would love to know. Next, I'm using glue. This is the Simon Says TM glue to adhere two card bases together. Going to set some magnets on top and let the glue dry. With this done, we can begin our stamping. So this was the basic card construction. Now you can decorate this card any way you like. I decided I would stamp a sentiment on the front of my card, and because I never have enough birthday cards, of course I'm stamping a birthday sentiment. This one comes from the Cassie Zilski Inside Greetings Birthday. Yes, this set is meant for the inside of the cards, but nonetheless, there's this one big sentiment that says, sending birthday wishes your way, that I am stamping on the front of my card. I'm using Misty Light and the Simon Says Stamp Versaclear ink from Simon and Suki Neko in color Nocturne. It is a really beautiful, rich black ink color. And there we have our sentiment stamped. Now I'm using Misty Light. You can use any other stamp positioner tool. You can use a clear block, whatever works for you. I'm using Misty Light because my desk is super cluttered and I never have enough room on my desk. And this Misty Light seems to be smaller than the other stamping platforms that I have in my stash. So this works for my crafty setup. I'm also stamping a sub-sentiment on the inside of my card, and I'm trying to make sure that this is going to be hidden by the top semicircle flap. The sentiment that I'm stamping reads, "Happy birthday to one of the few people whose birthday I can remember without a Facebook reminder." Gotta love Kathy and all of her clever sentiments. This is something I can definitely relate to because I do have a few people like that in my life whose birthday I really can remember without a Facebook reminder or a Google Calendar reminder, because I do have both of those. So again, making sure that this sentiment is hidden and stamping that using the same black ink. I am double checking everything multiple times to make sure everything works. And there we have our card base with both sentiments stamped and still an entire panel on the inside of the card for a personalized message should I want to write one. Next, I'm going to do additional stamping, and I'm using the beautiful Keep Palm stamp set. I'm going to stamp several leaves and flowers from this set, and because I will be coloring those using Copic markers, alcohol markers. I'm using a different kind of ink. This is Memento Tuxedo Black. This particular ink is alcohol marker friendly, and it is not going to bleed when it comes in contact with alcohol markers. So if you plan to do coloring using a specific coloring medium, make sure you select the right type of ink. Now, in addition to the foliage and the flowers and the leaves, I also want to stamp a beautiful butterfly. And here I have this gorgeous artsy butterflies stamp set. I picked one butterfly. It's a sideways butterfly that works really well for my card design, and I stamped that one as well. Next, we're moving on to coloring. I'm doing very simple coloring, flick style coloring, where I flick color onto the paper to create the illusion of texture in my colored images. I have, like I said, I'm using Copic markers. I'm using just a handful of colors. I'm not the best when it comes to Copic coloring, so I never use too many markers, and I also don't have a lot of markers. So the colors that I'm using are, I started with the RV00, next using RV13, and then RV09. So these are my three pinks to color the beautiful hibiscus flower. Oh, and I'm also using Y19 to color the flower center. Flick style coloring is very easy to master. You just need to add little flicks as you color and envision where you would see shadows and folds in a flower petal and add your flicks in those areas. I guess that would be the simplest way to put it. I've sped this part up quite a bit because I didn't want to focus too much on the coloring part of this video, but rather I wanted to show you the construction of the card base. I also used yellow to color that smaller flower, and I went with Y19. That was my dark yellow. And then I brought in another super light yellow from my stash. It's basically barely visible there. Next to color the leaves, I love a good Monstera leaf, and this is probably what drew me most to the stamp set. I used YG67, YG17, and YG03. Now, I colored the butterfly in the exact same way, although this probably was not the best method to color it, but I just wanted the coloring on this card to look cohesive on all of the elements. So here I used BG18, BG15, and BG11. Again, super simple, easy to do, and if you have not tried this before, give it a try. By the way, here is a look at all of the marker colors that I used for my coloring. You can take a screenshot of that if you want, or you can also check the video description or the coordinating blog post for all of the Copic markers. I did show some extra colors like YG07 and G19 because I was considering using those for the Monstera leaves, but in the end, I did not use them. Now, with the help of coordinating dies, which are available for all of these images, I cut them out and I've pre-planned the image placement on my card, and this is what we have. I'm using Simon Says Stamp foam adhesive squares. These are the regular thickness, and I'm going to foam mount all of these elements in place. I love to have a lot of dimension on my cards, so of course I'm using foam adhesive squares to pop these up. Now notice the Monstera leaf. You can see the coloring from the back of the leaf, and I wanted to hide that because if I can see it here, the recipient will be able to see it once the recipient opens the card. So I just used my die. I cut another shape from white cardstock, a blank shape, and I'm gluing the two shapes together. So this A is going to make my die cut sturdier. This is something that I often do for a lot of my die cuts. I didn't do that for this video, for this project. And B, this is going to hide that marker that was visible from the back of this die cut. By the way, the paper that I used for my coloring, this is Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. If you were to use Neenah Solar White 110-pound cardstock, you would not have this problem. Also, Simon Says Stamp 120 or 130-pound cardstock is fantastic for coloring like this. Again, you would not have this problem if you used that type of cardstock. I just don't have any of those at the moment, so I used what I have, which is Neenah Solar White 80 pound. Next, I'm foam mounting the rest of the images, and as I'm placing them onto my card base, I'm making sure none of the foam adhesive goes outside the edge of that top semicircle, because if it does, I'll be able to see it from the inside, and that's not something that I want. Now, I also have another leaf and another flower on the inside panel, and I do want to add them here. In fact, you will see me adding a whole bunch of additional images, additional colored images. I went back to my stamp set, I stamped a bunch more, I colored a bunch more, and I added them all to this inside panel to create an additional tropical background here. So I really decorated this inside panel with the sentiment. Now, I also used the Simon Says Stamp Drawn Hearts die to die cut some funky looking hearts from the same seafoam cardstock. I wanted to use some embellishments to decorate this card. I didn't want to add any gems or sequins. I wanted to use paper embellishments. And I really love the way this die looks. I really love the shape of the hearts that this die cuts. So I just cut a few, and here you saw me adding them onto my background here and there, just scattering them where it made sense to fill some gaps in my background. And here is the look at the card once finished. I have added the additional foliage to the inside flap or to the second flap. And again, you can see the first flap, the second flap, and then the inside of the card with the third flap where you have room for your personalized message. The card stands beautifully on its own. I also added additional semicircles from the inside of the card to cover up that foam adhesive, and I love the way this looks. So let me know in the comments below the name that you would suggest I use for this type of card. And also let me know if you're going to give it a try. I would love to know, but more importantly, I would love to see your take on this. If you end up making a project, please be sure to share it online and tag Simon Says Stamp and me. We'd love to see what you make. Thanks so much for joining me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.